I walked over the border from Honduras into El Salvador without much plan of how I was going to get to my destination. And luckily for me, I got picked up by a lorry driver called Salvador, who was on his way to San Salvador. And yeah, it was all fine in the end. He was actually very nice. He bought me some quesadilla salvadoreña and tamarindo juice in a plastic bag and took me to almost where I needed to go in his bimbo bread lorry. So after I had a smooth hitchhiking ride, I finally made it to my first destination in El Salvador, which is called Suchitoto, which is a charming little town on the side of a lake in the north of the country. I didn't do much research before coming here, so I just looked on Google Maps for a viewpoint over the lake, and then I went there and it was the side of a road. So that's my own fault really for not planning ahead. But I did end up stumbling across a dried out waterfall, which is obviously flowing in rainy season, and from there got an amazing lake view. By the way, El Salvador is hella cheap. This yucca meal with fried fish and a sweet plantain on the side only cost me $1.25. After a quick stop in San Salvador, I headed to Juayúa, which you can find along the flower route in El Salvador. The best part about Juayúa is the weekend food festival, and I got to try so many different things like the piña loca, the belly way meat, local sausages, and there's also obviously loads of seafood, drinks like horchata, you get yuca. There's so many options and it's all delicious. My absolute highlight has to be the hike to the 7 waterfalls. We saw so many amazing waterfalls. Actually felt like more than 7, but there were 7 big ones. We saw scorpions, we saw crabs.
Wow.
We saw so many things and I was with a really great bunch of people, so I just had the best time. It would be my #1 top tip to come here and go to las Siete Cascadas. After Juayúa, I joined friends in Lago Coatepeque. There we ate a lot of pupusas, which is the traditional dish of El Salvador.
I recognise you. Oh, his little face is actually really cute. Not far from Lake Coatepeque is the Santa Ana volcano, which is only a 1.5-hour hike up, so I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go for it. It's not going to be as hard as Volcano Catanango in Guatemala, and in the end it was so worth it. You get amazing views over the lake, and the crater is this amazing turquoise blue. How's your ice cream lake? He's got his priorities right.
Yeah, here.
I also visited the city of Santa Ana itself, and some of the things I found most interesting was going to see the old bank, which is where you can see the old banknotes, and as you can see they were huge compared to my thumb. And I also went to the theatre, which is a stunning building, has loads of nice decorations, ornaments, paintings, and it really has that nice theatrical, classical feel that you find in theatres in Europe. And of course, the number one thing to see in Santa Ana is the amazing white cathedral. I also got lucky that I got to stay with friends' parents who have an incredible collection of old agricultural tools they used to use back in the day. My last and final stop in El Salvador was La Unión. I wasn't actually planning on coming here, but I got a very strong recommendation, and in the end it was actually the best decision that I made while I was in El Salvador. It was definitely one of my highlights. The main thing to do is to go up Guanxiao Volcano for the views over the Union Bay. It is a bumpy ride, I warn you, but the views are so worth it. That land that you can see in the distance is Nicaragua, and that's where I'll be travelling the following day. But in the meantime, I'm just enjoying looking at all the islands, some belonging to El Salvador and some to Honduras, and it was very cool to be in between these three countries at a point where they all meet across la Bahía de La Unión. The main perk of already being in La Unión in the south of El Salvador was that I could travel to Nicaragua not by a 20-hour bus, but by a 2-hour boat ride. And so that's exactly what I did, and ended up being able to go through the Bahía de La Unión, see all these islands up close, and eventually get to Nicaragua after a really refreshing ride through the islands. The bigger islands in the bay are inhabited by people, but then you also find smaller islands that are only inhabited by local bird species. So it was really cool to see different birds that live there and just get to see a part of the world that I never thought I would have seen, all while making it a border crossing. Adios El Salvador, I really hope to be back.